Let's see if we're actually live. I'll have to go on my phone here. We're going to try this new live thing with the internet now. For some reason, it doesn't show if I'm live or not. I can't tell what we're looking at. It doesn't seem to be working. So time will tell here. We'll go to my Jimmy James garage. Why does it just have that? So it just shows me there. Well, let's see here. Why does it do that? Okay, that looks like we're live now. Okay, we're live. It should show up now. Hopefully it shows up pretty quick here. Yep, there it goes. Okay, so now I can look, see if that works out. Okay, so that's not quite tuned in yet. We'll have to do some more propping up here. That's what they have these tobacco pipes for. Hopefully it works. See if that works. Well, it looks like it's working. Gotta turn up the volume here. Okay. Well, it looks like it's working. Gotta turn up the volume here. Okay. It looks like it's working. So I got a new interweb. And now I can read the questions. What's up? What's up? I didn't read your last text you got back to me, Rob, because just as I went to read it, the cow broke through the fence. The internet guy was here. So I got a new interweb. And thing went crazy. Now I can read the questions. What's up? What's up? Oh, I can hear myself. Hold on. I'll turn it down. So, anyways, I haven't read that part yet. It looked pretty long. I got about 2 words done it, threw the phone on the ground, and then went out and put up wire, and it was kind of a mess. Look at it's wide now. It's a widescreen. I don't know if you're watching on a regular phone or not, but I can prop my phone up here, and I can read the thing without having my bride. She's not even here. She's in there with the kids, so it's pretty cool. So I will read it here in a minute. I wanted to go on to see if the live thing worked. It works great. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I got it on my Bose speaker here. I can kind of hear it over here. I got to probably turn it down. So, but I can read. Yeah, it works good, and it does look good. It's yeah. What the heck? Not bad. Oh, I bought the Bose speaker. My dad sends me what we call poppy dollars every year for my birthday, and a few weeks ago was my birthday, and Fat Guy Racing. What's up? What's up? Glad to see you. Hey, I'm gonna sell some. I might sell a 5.3 and a 6.0 and all that. I'm trying to clean up some stuff. I kind of switched gears here. I ended up with a Willys Jeep with a small block in it and everything. So I'm gonna need some room. So if you're interested, let me know because I'm gonna sell that. I'm probably gonna sell that 6.0 and that 4L80E and that 5.3 and that tranny I bought from you. So Jeep, I see. Yep. So yeah, I have that 53 Willys now. It's kind of cool. I can look right at you. I can see the screen right here. It's pretty cool. Uh, yeah, so I wanted to flip it on real quick to make sure it works. I don't know how long I'm going to stay on here because I have to go get parts for the Blazer. Coach Ben Wade of Survivor fame, he he got some drama going on, and I fixed most of the drama. So yeah, that 6.0 will sell fast. It will. I gotta pop it out and just do it. I just been so busy getting Ben's. Well, I've been referred to him as Coach because that's what he's kind of known as. Your Coach is a Blazer going here. I found they did some funky things with the pressure regulator, because it has hard lines in here, and then it's fine with a hard line. There's two rubber. They double did it, and I might put a little flare on it so it doesn't pop off, but it wasn't popped off. And then they had the regulator hooked to the air cleaner. And then the air cleaner, I think what I found the problem is there's a little flapper valve and then it works on some kind of a heat thing, I guess. And at some point it pops up and then I think it just wasn't getting enough air. So I'm going to put an open element air cleaner on there. Screw that freaking stupid thing he's got. I have no resistance and I have a couple of open spark plug wires. So that HI must be jumping those wires. So I got to put new wires on it. He's running cold plugs. He's running 43s and I'm gonna run 45s. A little warmer, for up in the elevation. He lives at 4,000 feet. So okay, I got a lot of questions here. 6 will sell soon. Okay, Jim Rice. Afternoon, my friend. Jim Rice. Are you the Jim Rice, the baseball player? Are you the Jim Rice, the father of the baseball players that played Little League? I'm thinking you're the other one, the one with the cool Ford truck, not the guy that lives in Boston. What's up, Jim? Good to see you. I haven't talked to you in a while. Hope all is good. Your video did good on my channel with your truck, and again, I appreciate that. Next time we're down, we'll have to go for a ride in it. I got a Jeep now, so I'll have to tell you the story about it at some point. The 6E, I meant. Oh, okay, I think the 6.0 and the 5.3 and all of it. The 4L80E should sell quick 6.0. And then Rosham Rosh. Hello, Jimmy. Hello, hello. Remember me? I do. I remember the name. So very cool. The father of the Chitlins. The father of the Chitlins, otherwise known as the Pittsburgh Steeler fan. I knew it was. I knew once it said Jim Rice. I mean, I knew it couldn't be the pro baseball player. I kind of figured it was you. What's up, Jim? What's up? Yep, from India. I do remember. We were talking about the pipe. Oh, yep. I remember. I was actually thinking about doing a video like early in the morning because I have people, back, in other countries that are, I want to say back east, but it's like way back east, like far east type stuff. And I thought if I come on at like 4 in the morning, that'd be kind of cool. Black and yellow, Jim Rice writes. Black and yellow, silver and black is what we're talking about, because we got Pete Carroll now. I mean, we got Piccolo Pete. So, yeah. So Rob says, "What's up, Rosh?" And that's cool. That's awesome from India again. That's really cool. I had zero plans of going live. What happened was I was getting ready to go to the surf, which I'm not gonna go forever on this one, but I got a lot of people on here, so I might go for a little while. It's 2:40 a.m. So I don't even know what time it is here. I don't have a clock here. It's probably about 2:40 here, but it's in the PM. It's right around 2 o'clock somewhere. My guess is. I don't. My phone doesn't show the time because I'm on watching the chats. And if I put I could be like live at 5 with the TV. I can put it up higher so it looks like I'm actually on a teleprompter when I just kind of glance down to read it. And Jim Rice, ha ha ha, yeah. And then, hey Robert, how are you? Yeah, so pretty cool. So this is live now, width wise, instead of going live with the vertical, it's now horizontal. So when you're watching on the TV, it'll hopefully go horizontal. I'll have to go in and watch this when I get back in the house. And hopefully it comes out on the TVs this way. This was the plan. This was the original plan to do it like this. Just got the internet hooked up. Of course, I was just telling Rob here, right when I got the internet hooked up, the guy says, "Oh, by the way, look, your cow's coming through the fence." And that steer out there has got the whole fence ripped up out of the ground in his horns, and he's eating freaking weeds or something that he thinks is better than the green pasture. So I dropped the phone, dropped all the stuff. I was just reading Rob's text and run out there and hit him with a stick and try to poke him out of there. And he doesn't move very good. I need a bigger stick. I need a big stick. The little pokey sticks don't quite move him. So got him finally unhooked. He's super friendly, and we don't beat him. When I say hit him with a stick, I'm just kidding around. But we definitely take the like a cane and push on him, and that doesn't seem to move very well either. So got him out there, and then moved him away. Got my bride out here, and then she kind of held him at bay while I run some more electric wire. Because what he was doing is the high wire. What he does, he gets under it, and then the wire catches in his horns, and once it grounds, he's good. He's smart. So people say cows are dumb. They're not dumb. They may be unruly and they're kind of like criminals and they'll do what they want to do. But dumb is not on the well, they're dumb in some ways. They're very intelligent in others, like figuring out how to deactivate the electric fence. He's not dumb. Burger's not dumb. So I put another message into my boys, and we got to get him sold because we're almost out of electrical fence, and we're almost out of regular fence. He's destroyed everything. So he's become unruly. So landscape makes it easy to watch and chat. Great decision, Jimmy. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that because that was the main reason to put this internet in here because it's expensive to add internet to the shop because here I call it my Jimmy James garage. It's a shop. It's a long ways from the house. That's not a long ways, but it's probably an acre away. And so when you're that far away, it doesn't seem to jump over here. And let's see, let's make sure it doesn't seem to jump over, so I have to get new internet. So it's its own separate internet. I can put up cameras and all that. The cameras can only come up from the house and look this way, but now I have cameras all through here, which will be something I'll do here later today. We'll put the cameras back up, hooked onto this internet, and then my wife on the backside can watch her goats. We can keep the cows. If they're breaking over the fence, the camera will go off. Let's see, scan. Okay, I'm good, Rush. I hope all is well with you. Good to see you back. Yeah, it is cool to see him back. That's awesome. Break over, get to talk to you later. Tell the family hello. Okay, same to you. Tell Shanae what's up and everybody. Hope all is well. I'm glad to hear it's all well. And I'm going to have to tell you the story about the Jeep. Pretty interesting because I know you're a Jeep guy. Are aftermarket exhaust legal there? Yes, aftermarket exhaust is 1,000,000% legal here. We have everything's illegal. Everything's legal here. In fact, this state is known to be not lawless because the police around here they'll get you. But they have very minimal rules. But the rules they have, they follow them. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But for exhaust, you can. I think there's some issues with federally, but nobody messes it. I mean, I got a '55 Chevy here with a button and uncork it. Nobody says nothing about it. There's no smog laws in this state, so it's to give you an idea. You're asking over here. You're probably meaning the United States. So each state has its own requirements. So state to state. And that's the thing we've been fighting a lot lately with like Trump. We're not fighting Trump, but what Trump's trying to do is return all of it, how the founding fathers set this up. Each state is like a country. And that's how the Constitution is written. It's all state by state. Federal law supersedes it, and federal law covers it as a blanket. But federal law is only for making roads and, protecting us. All the rest is supposed to be state by state. So he's slowly been turning things back to the states. Most of it is the personal type stuff, the abortions and the personal type things. Those are mainly is what he's returned first. But they're supposed to get federal funding, and they're supposed to control their own state. That's kind of what's been going on here. So back to your original question about the exhaust, California, they're on it. They have smog laws in every county. Every county is different, but it's state controlled. You have to have a smog license to make sure that they pass. There's all sorts of connections. I had a smog license at one time, but that was 35, 40 years ago. I had a smog license. It was a lot different then. They had actual inspectors come and check in. Now it's all hooked to computers, and they may have a couple people checking, but for the most part, it's a plug and play type thing. So a general blanket of is exhaust legal to alter it? It is in this state. It is in most of the states. In California, New York, there's a couple of them that have smog laws, which covers the exhaust. Let's see, aftermarket exhaust legal there. Okay, I got caught by the cops here for exhaust, paid $50 in fine. Yeah, they're not really doing that here. They got noise issues, so there is restriction on noise. Most states have that. So they have the noise ordinances, and that is covered in most states. But here, they don't want you running the Jake brakes, for the trucks through town, things like that. Pretty minimal stuff. Pretty minimal. And you're gonna be an abuser of it, Going one time with your exhaust a little too loud is not gonna be the end of the world by no means. But I do like this horizontal look. It looks a lot better, really. It looks a whole lot better. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to do more of this. This is a great way to go. This is really, really good. So I'm glad that the internet's in. I'm glad this worked out. We're gonna do a lot more lives and a lot more. I can do my video downloads in here, so I can be more timely with it. Things like that. It's really gonna work out well. Really gonna work out well. Ranger Danger, hello Jimmy. What's up? What's up? Just trying out my new internet and my new vertical. Um, it's kind of like my new toys with my old stuff. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Oh yeah, I'm just on live real quick to see if it worked, and it's working great. So I can even see my voice because I have it on my iPad. I can see the voice going up and down. I have my phone in front of me where I can see me and the comments when they pop up. I'm kind of self sufficient, which my bride's real happy about. She does not like coming out here and misreading stuff. And I told her we're not misreading it on purpose. We're just misreading it because we're stupid. So people forgive stupid. They don't, they get mad at you when you're messing with them. So, we mean no harm when we reread these things without our glasses on. And some of them are hard to read. You're kind of on the spot here while you're talking about stuff and reading stuff. So, it's all good. It's all good. We misread, names and stuff once in a while and comments, and we usually somebody catches up and says, "Hey, you screwed up." So I'm planning to make my car like it's only one in whole India. Modifications like adding twin turbos, okay, in a NA engine and many more things, and at least 460 horsepower or power, okay? HP of power, horsepower of power. Cool. So I'm planning on making my car like it's the only one in the whole in all of India. Let's just go with that. Modifications like adding twin turbos in a NA engine, and I think in a naturally aspirated engine, probably what you mean by NA, and many more things, and at least 460 horsepower. That's pretty good. That ought to run good. What kind of cylinder configurations are the V8s, V6s, straight sixes, straight fours? What are they? What kind of engines do you have in India? Here, small block Chevy's the king. It's in every vehicle almost on Earth, or it's been swapped into it. But then you have small block Fords and the small block Chrysler products, the Mopar stuff, and then you go into the big blocks, and of course LS is kind of taken over. It's kind of like the new small block. For years and years, everybody did the small block Chevy and just about everything on Earth. And now they offer so many parts, people can stay with the same brand. They can go with the Mustang and put a Ford in it because they can get heads, they can get camshafts. Chevy was off the chart with product. You could get virtually any aftermarket product for a small block Chevy forever. And that's why guys did it. It was a lot cheaper and it was a great aftermarket support. But now you seem to be able to get a lot of stuff for all the other vehicles. They always kind of tested it out on the small block forever, and then occasionally get it. And if you did get it, it was expensive. Like I know a lot of the Ford guys, they were kind of butthurt over it because they'd buy a set of heads and they'd be twice the price of what a Chevy would. They still are a little bit more, but they're not extremely more. Mine is an inline four. I'll be swapping into with a 2JZ. So I need to look that up. I'm really interested in what you got going there. So really, really cool because I didn't know you guys had anything like that. That's pretty cool. So if you can get 460 horsepower of a four cylinder, you're doing pretty good. That's a lot. Well, I mean, if it's a V8, it's going to make 900. So when you put twin turbos on stuff, so yeah, but 460 will move it. I mean, that naturally estimated 55 right here is probably about 450. So if I found any good 2JZs engines from a Supra, okay. So you guys do a lot of Toyota stuff then. I didn't know if it was Indian made or what it was, but so it sounds like all Toyota stuff, which, oh, what a feeling Toyota. I'm a big Toyota guy. I drive one every day. So I drive a 2021 Tundra. It's got a 5.7 in it. It's got a V8. And I think it's like 380 or 84 horse, something like that. It definitely has some power. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. It moves that 6,000 pound truck like it's nothing. Yeah, Japanese engine. Okay, so I'm very familiar with all that stuff. So very cool. I didn't know if India made vehicles or not. If you guys use that stuff for the Japanese stuff. I don't know how the Americans won World War II against the Germans and the Japanese. To be honest with you, because their stuff is good. I mean, I'm not supposed to say that since I own a Jeep here. Everybody says, "Oh, the Jeep is what won the war." Well, they've never been around a Volkswagen or a Toyota Land Cruiser because the Japanese and the Germans really have got that stuff down. They truly do. Truly, truly do. So let me move this thing here real quick so it has more background to it. We're going to put the 55 into the background. That gets people looking. That helps a bunch. Well, let's see what we did here. Let's get this thing all set up again. Now that I had it set up once. That's good about having pipes here. You just stack things in there to prop it up. Let's see if that works there. Hey, there we go. Look at that. That's pretty cool. All right, and I can hopefully scoot a little more forward and I can read my stuff a little better. Hey, that's pretty good. It's the right direction and everything. Oh man, I'm loving this new thing. This is really cool. Oh man, the other one reading backwards and it just didn't show what was going on. And I can slide on up here and then read it. All right, so in India, most of them are three-cylinder inline engines. Okay. All right, that's pretty good. Little three cylinders, huh? So I guess a little three cylinder, I guess you don't have a lot of need for horsepower, maybe small cars. It's funny, I can hear myself over on my new Bose speaker. Yeah, my hat's right. My Jimmy James hat. You're right, Rob. So my JJG, which you have one. Where is it? Right here. Yeah. Jimmy James Garage. And so a lot of people don't know this. I'll talk about that for a second. Um, Everybody wears a baseball hat. And I have a cowboy hat because I got married in a cowboy hat. And so I'm officially not a cow person, but I do have a cowboy hat. Been on many horses, been around ranches, a lot, blah, blah, blah. And it's fine. I don't wear it a lot. I wear it certain events, certain things, but everybody has an old grungy old baseball hat, and I wore them forever. And I've always worn my hat backwards. It comes back from another job I had, and it works good on cars. A lot of times you don't bump your head. But anyways, I found one of these hats. I went to a wedding, and I thought it was going to be hot out, and so it was actually Amy and Chris's wedding, Merrick, and it was going to be hot out. It was going to be outside, and I didn't have a hat. I didn't bring a hat. I'm like, ah, man, I better have a hat. So these had a little more style to them, and so I found this thing at some department store in Portland, and I put it on. Well, that's different, it's kind of more fits more of that kind of thing. So I just had it around here, and I thought, hey, I should wear that for my videos and stuff. And it's just turned into my permanent hat that's on my head constantly. I even sent it down and had it monogrammed. I bought quite a few more of those online. They're all made by Levi right here. And Rob has one. Thanks again for buying that hat, Rob. Appreciate it. And I think they're cool. They're just different. So, well, we have been trying to catch on a live and say hello. Tell the family we said hi down here in the Ville. Okay. I will definitely tell the family hi from the Ville. Ranger Danger. I got to figure out who Ranger Danger is. Obviously, I know who you are, but I can't put it together. So we'll have been trying to catch on a live and say hi and tell the family we are said hi down here in the Ville. Okay, come on twice. So I will tell my bride what's up and my boys and my grandkids and all that Ranger Danger said hi, but I don't know who Ranger Danger is. That's cool. That's awesome. Well, hello. Only luxury brands like BMW and Mercedes provide V6s and V8s here in India. Okay. And other brands focus on fuel efficiency, compromising other things. You know, and then Rob says probably about the hats, they're super cool and excellent quality. They are good quality. I actually, when I was going to do this, and we started putting this Jeremy Smith, that's pretty good. I like Jeremy Smith. So a lot of people don't know I've known Jeremy Smith for a long, long time. In fact, Rob knows his dad. So I don't know if you knew Jeremy, but you know his dad. Sorry, trying to do this off the phone. That's what I was just telling Jeremy. We here in the shop here, I just put in internet and I was able to set the camera up or the iPad camera's over there, but set it all up and then I can do it horizontal. So on the phone, I had to do it before. It was backwards. It was kind of a mess. And I just flipped it on to see if it worked. And then I saw people click on it. And I'm like, well, I'll stay on it for a minute. So, but yes, I will tell everybody hello. I will tell the Morinos hello. And are you coming up again to harvest another animal this year? Let us know. And we'll have to have you guys over with crappy service. I know how that is, but I'm glad you caught us. That's pretty good. Rob here worked with me and your pops. Let's see. Can you tell me some tips to get extra power from a natural aspirated inline four engine? Four cylinder. So the number one way to get power on a naturally aspirated motor is porting the heads. Port work, port work, port work. So how it kind of works is I don't have anything here to show an example, but I got a pipe. So if this is the outside air, to get that air to come through this tube is basically what you're doing to go into a cylinder. My son planted emoji poopies all over the garage. Just happened to have one sitting here. Found it on the 55 today, Ryder, and by the tack. So if this is the cylinder going up and down, it's got to pull air through here. And this is exactly how a cylinder head would be. It would have all this open air coming out of the carburetor. And once it starts getting through here, every little bit restricts the flow. Because it's relying on this thing pulling the air to draft it through there, if that makes sense. So every connection should be matched. Everything in the bowl when it's making turns should be matched or flowed. And you can do it by eye. You can do it very well by eye. You'd be amazed how much power you can get by eye. Guys that, CNC heads and do all that, sure, they can get you a lot more power. But, people have been porting heads since God knows when. I ported my first set of heads in 1984, 85. And I ported the crap out of them and the motor come alive. So port work, port work, port work. Pull those things apart, usually around the valves, there'll be some narrowed areas. So I had a guy named Renee Green. Renee Green was a big road racer back in the 70s, 60s, and 70s. You can look him up. He's probably on the internet somewhere. And he was our instructor for our engine builds. And he's a hot rodder. So we were talking about GM, school. I was out at the training center in the summer, and we had to go there 8 hours a day. So we're doing our 8 hours a deal. Well, guess what? We do a little GM stuff, and then we went right into hot rod stuff. Because all of us in there, at that time, were hot rodders. And he really focused on how to port stuff. And he taught me a lot of things I think of to this day. He says, think of air and fuel is a bunch of BBs. And you got to get all those BBs through there. Eventually, they're all going to go through. But every little bump in them is going to push into the other BBs and to slow all the flow of them down. So if there's a bump or a turn or something that's odd, it'll slow those BBs from getting into that cylinder. So if you think of the BB theory, like I said, if you have all these BBs, they're coming in. And if there's bumps and it's not smooth for them to get in, it's going to slow them down. It's going to make less power. You're going to get less BBs in that cylinder on each shot. So the more you can take a die grinder to stuff, and honestly, you don't have to open it up and make it bigger. You have to make it smoother. You have to make it more shape. Be careful of making it too polished because you'll get puddling, you'll get things like that. You can always take a little sandpaper roll and rough it up a little bit. Keep things turning and mixing. But every little bump in there is going to slow those BBs from getting in that hole. The other trick is match each cylinder. So, and that's the tough part. A lot of times you can CC it with water or alcohol. I do water because people say, oh, water's not good, but it works out. Just spray it out of there. But you can take rubbing alcohol and CC each port and then find out how many CCs are in them. That'll give you an idea how much material you've taken out. If you take your time and port it, you will really be happy. And let's see. Can you tell me so? Okay, and then Ranger Danger. I love Ranger Danger. That's awesome. Not this year, bud. Maybe next year. Yep, sounds good. You're invited up here. You can stay here. You can stay at the Marinos, wherever you want to stay. You're always invited. You're always welcome. You know that. So, yeah, I ended up killing a good buck 2 years ago up here. It's coming up on 2 years. 2 years this fall. I killed a real nice mule deer. I drew that really hard to draw right here on the prairie. I killed a almost 27-inch wide. He's like 26 3/4 wide, and he was 27 tall. Good buck. So I passed him up on day one because they said there's 35 inches in there. Never come across it. Was talking to the rancher, and he's like, I think those are the biggest bucks in here this year. I just don't think the big ones, because they kind of rotate through all these fields and stuff. And he goes, I don't know if you're going to be able to find them any bigger at this point. He goes, I haven't seen them. And they come and go, some years are smaller, some years are bigger. But I was very sad that I got him mounted on the wall. He's a great buck. Because he's real tall. He looked really good, being that tall. And he's only a 3x3. That's why I passed him up on day one. He was standing about 50 feet from me. And it's in the rut. There's only 25 tags in the rut up here on that. Mule deer only. And he literally walked out. He was with a doe. He walked out 50 feet, maybe 100 feet. I don't know. He's right in front of me. And looked at it 3x3, and I went, I don't know, on day one, first deer I see, 6:30 in the morning if I want to drop him when I hear there's bigger ones. Went out there that evening with my bride, and she's like, you're going to let him go? Like, man, because I knew he wasn't 30, but super tall. So he's wide and tall, and he's kind of palmated out the way the points are on the long threes. He's got tines on him that long. And he's just impressive looking. And so, I let him walk a second time, and then for 10 days after that, I kicked myself because all I saw was 20-inch 4x4s. And then he popped out right at dark, and I didn't know that it was the same buck. He was in a different canyon. And as soon as I pulled the trigger and walked up to him, I'm like, oh, that's the same buck, because he had these big knots on the front of his front tines, on his G2s, or they call those. Let's see. How much horsepower will it gain by porting? Any expectations? So on a V8, like we have behind us, You could probably get, so it all depends where you start and what you're looking at to begin with. But old V8s that have crappy heads on them, you can see 40 or 50 horsepower, no problem. So cut that in half for a four cylinder. Japanese have pretty good heads on them. I would say 20 horsepower probably, maybe more. You'd have to look at the bowls. It's such a variable because it just depends on how they're designed and how much flow you can get out of them from the start and where you can go with them. You got to be careful you don't break into water jackets, things like that. But yeah, everybody always says you open a die grinder up, there's 35 horsepower. That's kind of a running number people tell you. It makes a huge difference. This car right behind me here, this 55, it has an Edelbrock Performer RPMs on it, aluminum head, great design head. And somebody ported those. I didn't port them. Somebody ported them, did a great job with it. I mean, a spectacular job. And this car is a freaking animal. This car runs in the 11s, 1660 foot times, and it ain't nothing special. Doesn't have a roller cam or any of that stuff. But being those heads are ported and I matched the manifold. I don't know what it's done since I matched it, but it wasn't even the manifold wasn't even port matched. So yeah, it does help. It is, and it's free. All you gotta do is buy the grinder and the tools, and you can port them out. You can buy them. I don't know if you guys order from Summit or Jegs or any of that stuff, but they sell porting kits. Let's see here. Bring the crew up again. I think you old timers had a good time. We did have a good time. It was great seeing everybody. It was really good. In fact, I saw your mom and dad about 2 months ago at the casino in the Ville, and it was good seeing them. In fact, your pops was sitting there pulling on a machine, and I just stood next to him and looked at him. And then he kind of felt me stand there, and he looked over. He gave me that. He gave me that mad dog that he would give, that look. And they just looked at me, and he goes, "What?" It was great seeing him. We stop in and out and have doctors, but we're usually there and gone. Let's see. Yeah, I would love to see the whole crew again. What if I had a turbo and tune it after porting with a gain up to 200 horsepower? So usually port work does not help forced induction. When you're doing turbos and blowers and things of that nature, it's usually shoving it in. So will it help? It will help a little bit. It won't be as drastic as naturally aspirated. Port work is always really beneficial and naturally aspirated. Turbos and blowers, 1,000,000%, they're pushing it through all the bad turns and angles because they're under pressure. So when that valve pops open, there's 5 to 10 pounds behind it, shoving it in. So flow does help a little bit. I'm not going to kid you that doesn't help a little bit, but you can overcome it with turbos and blowers. But I would still port it. I would still clean them up. It doesn't take that much. Let's see. I know the look you're talking about. It's so him, isn't it? He just did this. He just went, and it was the uncomfortable looking at me. What do you want? Oh, he is so funny. And at first you're like, does he recognize me? And oh no, he knows exactly who it is. He probably knew before he turned and looked. Oh yeah, pretty good, pretty good. But yeah, back to the port work. Do the port work. In fact, I'll show you what to buy. I don't know if they have that, but I have one right here. Oh, look, I can see me limping. I'm supposed to get an ear replacement here pretty quick. So that'll be nice. So I don't have to limp everywhere. But yeah, die grinder. This thing is 40 plus years old. It's made by Mac Tools, which Mac is on my bad list. And then it had a little cardboard thing that says port, kit on it. But then it has all the stuff. And then I have longer ones back there. But this is mainly just in fact, it's getting kind of worn out. Some of these cartridge rolls are getting kind of seen better days. But yeah, that's your little port kit. Kind of shows you everything, a little polishing tool to polish it up. But yeah, that's it. That's all. So kind of interesting stuff. But I have it right there in the bottom of the toolbox. I use it a lot. Even though I need to. So it's called the Deluxe Porting Kit. I dropped my poop on the floor. Knocked it down. So Deluxe Porting Kit, part number 260001. 260001. Porting Kit, Deluxe Porting Kit. I'm sure I bought this from Summit. I buy everything from Summit, especially back when I bought this stuff. There you go. That'll help you out right there. Call up Summit, 1-800-230-3030. It's weird how I know that number. I don't know if they ship to India or not, but you can actually, it's all you need, especially aluminum heads. Aluminum's real easy. Just get in there, like so, and just woo. And they make different ones. This is just so old. I've always used it. I'm just good with it. You just get it in there and just kind of line it up and just take all the little edges off, all the casting marks. Just work it around, flip it over. You can take I always take like duct tape and I put it on because it's thick, and I put it on the valve and valves, and just so you don't nick it, and get in there real slow. And they make variable ones, but I've used this so much I can get back here like this on it, and I can vary it pretty well. I can just all the way up and down. Especially with the end on it I can just really get it good. Just that's it. Pretty simple. Any other good questions out there? I can even ask myself a question. That's kind of cool. Enter. Hey, new internet. Let's see if it does it. Hey, I responded to myself, Jimmy James Garage. Hey, new internet. That's pretty cool. And I can turn off the live chat if I wanted to have it bigger. That's cool. It worked. Yeah, so this is going to work out good. It's going to work out really good. I wonder if I turn the phone this way. Nope, it just doesn't do it. So, but yeah, see, it's like that. There it is. Now I can read it, and I just put it right in front of me. And now I can read it, and my bride's in there probably watching, so excited. She's like, oh my gosh, I don't have to be involved anymore. Now, if you look at this close, this could go on forever. It's like forever. You just keep looking back and looking at the smaller cameras and be like forever. So. Tell us how you really feel about Dodge. My son gets mad at me a lot, and he goes, it's not a Dodge, it's a Ram. So let's see here. How do I feel about Dodge? I feel that people that own a Dodge have great tennis shoes. The Dodge guys are always the bottom of the rung. It's always the Ford and Chevy guys. And the Dodge guys always feel like they get slighted. And it just makes me laugh because Dodge, let's just go really what Dodge is. Dodge has a lot of great ideas, and they do a lot of neat stuff. They have good looking cars. They have great taglines like Hemi and all these different, what do they call those things? They always got some kind of a tagline besides Hemi, the 6-pack and they're just they're just great at that stuff. You know, the Road Runner and the beep beep horn and oh, what are some of the other ones? The Max Wedge. I mean, they're awesome at it. There's nobody better at that stuff. But they do all that really well. But the quality of them suck. They don't have good fit and finish. Their engine part's pretty good. You know, they do pretty well with that. But the rest of it, like, you know, you close the door and the door falls off. You know, they close the door on a Ford or Chevy, the handle may pop off. You close on a Dodge, the door falls into the street. Those things are so expensive because they rust away. They didn't have a lot of undercoating on them and stuff, but they were cheaper to start with. You know, guys could buy a full run and drag car, you know, them dusters with the 340s in them, and they'd put headers on them and intake and a carb on it, and then drive it back to forth to work, and then go out to the drag races back in the late 60s, early 70s, and clipping off, you know, 12-second quarter miles. Pretty spectacular. But the cars were light. They had great engines and great transmissions and great rear ends, and the rest of it was a lot of fluff. And today they're the same way. You know, they have that Cummins in there. I don't know that it can be beat. It's a great little setup, but everything past that, good luck. Good luck. But they look good. They have good looks. You know, they've hit the marks, but they try to keep the prices down. That's why they're doing it. So, you know, I don't fault them for it. I don't fault them for it at all. I love making fun of the Dodge guys. They just because they get all butt hurt. It just makes me laugh. You know, Ford guys, they always throw it out there, but you know, this Ford and Chevy, they can bash each other, and it's ah. But the Dodge guys, they just feel disrespected. That's the funniest part about it. So yeah, that's how I feel. I'm not above owning one at some point, though. I probably should buy one just to show everybody I'm not a hater. It'd be kind of funny. I think my next purchase, if I end up purchasing anything in the anytime near future, will probably be a Volkswagen. That'd probably be the next purchase if I ever get to that point. I think a VW Bug would be pretty cool. I think it'd be really, really cool. Never owned one. The four cylinders on those are pretty stout. I just like the way they look, especially when they do the cow bugs on them. You know, with the smaller tires in the front, all dumped down low in the front, and little bigger ones in the back with those Porsche alloys on there, and yeah, with the deck lid popped open. They just have that hot rod look to them. Really enjoy those. So, well, I'm glad this all worked out good. Um, I'm going to have to wrap this up because I do have to go to the parts store, and we don't have parts stores close here. Everything we have is a distance from us. Town's a distance from us. Everything's a little ways. But I want to make sure it worked. I'm glad you guys joined on. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And let me know in the chats here what you think of the widescreen if you're watching it on TV. I'm going to go take a look at it. But in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this live and I'm going to go, yeah, VW, cool. Do it, Jimmy. Yeah, I'm going to, at some point, I'm probably going to. I got to wrap up a few things first. I got to get some of this junk here that I drug into the yard here, I got to get going. It's just too much. I'm gonna let that 53, 52 Chevy go. I don't need that. I'll keep the Safari. I'll get the wheels on the 55. I gotta get that Jeep going. Jeep's hopefully next week and get that thing running. Once I get a hold of what I got running and get the fencing up around the property and all that, maybe that's something I'll venture into. Because I think it would be cool to have one. They're lightweight, be fun to throw on the trailer and buzz around and cruise in. I think the grandkids would dig it. But I got to get the Jeep going, and I got a few things that I really got to concentrate before I get another project. I always laugh at people that have all these projects and let them run, and I don't want to become one. I'm so close to becoming one of them people, and I don't want to do that. I like to enjoy my stuff and use it, so I want to make sure they're all in running order before I do the Volkswagen thing. So that's the plan. Could that change? That's me. I could change in a dime. So what I'm gonna do is wrap this live up. Thanks for showing up here. I'm gonna go read your text, Rob. That's my next plan. Then I'm going to the store, going to get car parts for Coach Ben Wade's 91 Blazer. We're gonna get spark plug wires, get fuel stuff. It's gonna be awesome. So Peace out. Thanks for joining. I know this was a short one. Thanks, Jeremy, for showing up. Appreciate that. Ranger Danger. Big shout out to India. Roche. Hey, appreciate you showing up again. I know it's late out there, and let me know what you think on maybe doing an early morning one. Maybe I get up early one morning and get up here at 4 or 5 in the morning here and see what's happening there in the evening. Tell me what you think. All right, Rob. See you later. See you later, everybody. Peace out. Peace out. I'm gonna flip you around and send you goodbye. End.